everyone. So in this video today, we are going to do a quick analysis of the UCLAT 2021 mock that the Abhyas Law Prep team had conducted very recently. All ALPMs, I'm sure, are already aware of it, and most of you have already taken the mock, I guess. Now, those of you who are yet to take the mock, I suggest that you go back and attempt the mock first and then come back to this video so that you can make the best use of it, right? Now, before I get into the analysis of the mock, I would like to address a few common queries that a lot of students keep having a lot with respect to the CLAT exam, right? Now, one of that is order of sections to attempt, and the other one is time spent on each section. Once we cover these two aspects, then we'll go into a detailed analysis of the UCLAT mock in general. So coming to the first point with respect to order of sections to attempt, I'm sure the discussion would have happened. I would have discussed the same across different classes, but I felt this would be a right platform to discuss this once again. Now, with respect to the order of section, I'm sure a lot of you are comfortable or are used to doing the current affairs section first, right? Which makes sense to the extent that, yes, this is a less time consuming section. You can do a lot of questions in a minimum amount of time and get going, right? You can move on from one section. You can have this idea that one section is already done. But what happens is, with respect to in the context of the new CLAT pattern that has come up since last year, the order of the sections might need a little bit of modification. While in the old pattern, our team would have definitely suggested you guys to go ahead and do the current affairs section first. This would need a little bit of changing, given that the new pattern is entirely passage based, right? Now, the idea behind this other approach of instead of doing current affairs first, the idea behind that is to first understand how the sections are actually meaning, which sections are passages heavy and which sections are not. Now, if you know clearly your English, your legal, and logical, all these three sections are clearly passage based sections, as in most of the questions, in fact in legal and English, all of the questions are passage based, right? So very passage heavy, very reading heavy kind of sections these are. Whereas your current affairs and quant, right, on the other hand, are not really reading heavy in that context. Obviously, yes, you have passages in your current affairs section also, but it's not like you have to read it so thoroughly as you would read a legal passage or an English passage, right? Current affairs, you always do a skim scan kind of a thing. I mean, you go to the passage only wherever needed. If there is a question which is asking identify X from the passage, only in those contexts you might have to get back to the passage, but otherwise not so much. And in the quant section, I'm not really saying the given data or the, table or bar or graph, whatever it is. I'm not saying it's not important, but definitely you understand it doesn't require the kind of reading that English, legal, or logical would require, right? So broadly speaking, if you see, we can divide our passages into these two categories. One is your reading heavy, and this is probably question heavy, as in the questions matter more than actually reading, right? So the one way to understand or order your sections would be to alternate between these, as in instead of doing all reading heavy sections together, you try to alternate them. Meaning, let us say you start with an English, just an example, then you might want to do current affairs, then you can go ahead and do legal, then come back do quant, and then finally logical, right? Now, between English and logical, it depends entirely upon your area of expertise or your strength. Basically, you can choose to do any one. Ideally, we suggest not to start off with the legal section. So probably you can leave it in the middle. And at the same time, legal is not something that you can afford to do at the very end also. That would be risky as well. So ideally, you can plan to do legal in the middle. English and logical, you can, interchange based on your comfort. And quant and between quant and current affairs, I'm sure it is better to do current affairs section as the second section after English or logical. You might want to do current affairs section because yes, that is still a very scoring section, less time consuming section that doesn't really change. Even though it is passage based, you would still treat current affairs as a very less time consuming section. So you want to get it done with in at least in the first half of your exam, right? So that is with respect to the order of sections. Again, slight changes here and there can always happen. This is only a suggested order that we are giving. Obviously, depending on your own comfort and your own section that you are more comfortable or less comfortable with, you can play around this order a little bit and figure out which one works best for you, right? So while taking all the different mocks, you can try out different strategies, different orders, and then figure out which one works the best for you, right? It might be slightly different for each individual. So this is the general order or general approach that we suggest, is to alternate out the reading heavy passages with the less reading passages, right? Sorry, less reading sections. So that way, you're able to probably attempt the whole exam in a much better frame of mind, right? So next, coming to the time spent on each section. Now, again, this is something that most of you are already following, I believe. But let us see how much time can be spent on each section as such. Now, clearly, English, which constitutes about 20%, you have around 28 to 32 questions, right? An ideal time for this section would be around 20 to 25 minutes, not more than that, right? Current affairs, again, like I said, even with respect to the passages, even though it is passage based right now, still it remains one of the least time consuming sections with respect as compared to all others. So you can, plan to give in around 12 to 15 minutes to this section. A few minutes here and there is okay, that is for all the sections. But current affairs, more or less, since you're not going to read the passages really thoroughly that much, 10 to 15 minutes or 12 to 15 minutes would be a decent enough time that you can allot to your current affairs section. Next, coming to the legal reasoning section, probably yes, current affairs and legal are one of your two of your biggest sections basically. But luckily, current affairs is very less time consuming. Legal, on the other hand, is an important section, is a big section, as well as automatically the time that you allot to legal will also be the highest among all, right? So roughly around 35 to 40 minutes would be a decent enough time that you can give to this section, given that it has close to 40 questions out of your paper, right? Coming to logical, it is very similar to English in terms of the number of questions as well as the amount of time that you allocate for that, right? So again, around 20 to 25 minutes should be a reasonable time that you give to this section, right? So even with respect to the order that I was just talking, so whether you choose to do English first or logical first, in terms of the time split, you would still be done with one section within the first 20-25 minutes. And if you plan to do GK next, then probably in the first 40 minutes or so, 35-40 minutes, you should be done with two sections for sure, right? Coming to the last section and probably the one with the least number of questions and least weightage, which is going to be your quant, you can choose to probably give it around 15 minutes, not more than that. Now, a lot of times you've seen that students usually, at least CLAT aspirants usually, are not so comfortable with this section as such. Again, I'm not talking about everyone as such, but mostly this is what we have seen, that not everyone is so comfortable with this section. But remember, at the same time, do not get into the situation of leaving out this entire section. That is definitely not advisable, right? So ensure you're allotting at least 10 to 15 minutes, not more than 15 minutes. Definitely that is also not worth it, because even if you're allotting too much time, at the end of the day, you're only going to solve 15 questions on an average, right? So it's not like allotting more time is going to benefit you in any way, right? So ensure that you stick to 15-16 minutes at the most. But at the same time, do ensure that you're not skipping out this section entirely. Ensure that you're giving at least 10 to 12 minutes, so that at least you can take a look at the questions and attempt some of them for sure, right? So roughly speaking, if you see this 25 minutes for logical and English, 35 to 40 for legal, and 15 minutes approximately each for current affairs and quant. Overall, if you see, it adds up to around um, 5 minutes extra, 5 minutes is left off. It adds up to around 115 minutes. But yeah, 5 minutes here and there can always be adjusted, maybe because you took a little extra time in legal, or maybe because you took a little extra time in current affairs. Those 5 minutes can always be adjusted in any of the sections, right? So overall, this is the suggested timeline, and we advise you to stick to these times as much as possible, right? Because giving too much to any section, even if English you end up spending 40 minutes or something like that, that's really going to throw you off with respect to your time that is left for other sections, right? So ensure that you are, as much as possible, you try to stick to this suggested timelines, right? Now, with these two things out of the way, let us get into the UCLAT mock and understand how the mock was, how were the sections with respect to easy, medium, difficult, and what could have been good scores that you should have gotten in this mock, right? So, for every section, we'll do an analysis in three types, as in one would be in terms of the types of question that you got, right, which is what you have on screen here. One is with respect to the level of difficulty of the questions, which we'll see next. And the third one would be in terms of the passages or the questions that you should have definitely done as against the questions that you could have done or may have skipped, right? So we'll do each subject, we'll look at each subject and we'll do an analysis on these three aspects, right? Now, coming to the English section, if you remember, this is your type of questions, right? Which you have direct questions. Direct questions, I'm sure from RC, direct questions are those factual, information based questions that you can directly pick from your passage, right? Most of the time, these are your easy questions, so definitely doable ones, right? Inferred are your tricky or difficult question because it needs a little bit of reading and understanding, right? A lot of reasoning is required. So some way similar to your logical reasoning kind of questions. Also, inferred are basically things that would require a little bit of more reading and understanding and reasoning, right? So yes, in that context, definitely more difficult as compared to your direct questions, right? So we had around 12 out of the total 32 questions, nearly 12. So nearly one third, you could say, were around 37%, that is, were around inferred questions, right? Then you had questions, typical questions on vocab and grammar. These are again, grammar could still be easy in the context of from passages. When you're getting grammar based questions, most of the time it is like fill in the blanks with either articles or prepositions, or trying to pick up the correct form of the sentence and all of that, so which is fairly easy enough to do, so not at all difficult. Vocabulary also, since it is from a passage, you can expect to have some sort of a contextual clue from the passage that you can use to answer these questions. It wouldn't be a completely random word whose synonym or antonym is being asked, right? Some sort of a hint might be in the passage, might be given in the passage, but makes it a little okay and easy to attempt these kinds of questions, right? And there were around 6 questions that were two each. I think there was a title based question, main idea, and tone based questions. So these were with respect to the type of questions that you had in the paper. So like I said, mostly inferred, yes, out of the total 32, if you see 12 inferred, difficult, a little tricky, difficult, but the others, right, but the remaining were definitely doable ones, right, not at all difficult in that context. So 20 questions were clearly doable. Out of the 12 also, I'm sure inferred you would have been able to do quite a few of them, right? Now let us take a look at the section with respect to the level of difficulty. So if you see, there were nearly 19 questions which were easy. Now if you remember in the previous slide, we just said that close to 20 questions belong to the direct vocab or grammar kind of category, and there were around 12 which were inferred, right? So consequently, you see that there are around 19 questions which you can categorize at easy, right? So out of 32, if 19 questions are easy, this section I would say overall would definitely be an easy one, right? Easy to moderate is the best, but yeah, more towards easy this section was. There was hardly any or just one question which can be categorized as difficult, but remaining 12 were all medium level questions, which might have been, most of those might have been your inference based questions, right? So we understand that the section overall was definitely on the easier side. So you could have scored really well in this, which we will probably look at the end of the analysis. Now, coming to the passages, if you remember, we'll just quickly go through passages that you should have definitely attempted versus what you could have attempted. Now, when I say you can attempt or you could have skipped, it doesn't mean you have to necessarily skip the passage. That is definitely what we are not what we are trying to say. But it's something like, depending on the time, if you were running short of time or something like that, this was a passage which you could have skipped or you could have attempted at the end. That is what is meant by can attempt passages. Again, one more thing to note about can attempt kind of passages is even though you leave out or do not read the passage as such, ensure you do a quick check of the questions at least to see if you have any direct vocabulary based or grammar based questions which you can do right away without having to read the passage, right? So even if you are, let us say, leaving out a passage, ensure you do not leave it out without reading the questions, because you never know, at least two questions, one, two, three, any number of questions you might be able to attempt without actually doing much of a reading, right? Now, coming to the must attempt passages, if you see the first passage, which was based on life insurance and savings scheme, very, very straightforward, all easy questions. This is something that all of you should have done. The second one was on Johnson and his religious views. It was also an easy read kind of a passage, easy conversational style passage. So, definitely something that should have been done. The third passage, if you remember, was something about selection criteria of Nobel Peace Prize. Now, this passage, I would say, yes, it did require a little bit of reading, careful reading, but with that, you should have been able to attempt the questions fairly easily. Questions were really doable, but yes, a little bit of careful reading was needed, right? If I remember, like the level of questions also were like there were few couple of easy questions, couple of medium questions, and one difficult question, right? So yes, you could have definitely attempted this passage for sure. The fourth one passage was based on, I think, budget allocation to states and all. This was a factual or information based passage. Again, fairly straightforward questions you could have definitely done. Passage six was an interesting read actually. Simple questions, interesting read. The topic was interesting, but you have to be careful not to get too carried away with the topics that are given in the passage. You have to be quick in reading, understanding, solving the questions, and moving on. But yeah, passage six was also something that could have been easily done. Passage five, if you remember, it was on the effects of pandemic. Now, it is a contemporary topic, so it is not something new that you are unaware of. But that was a passage which needed really careful and thorough reading, right? So, in that context, in case you were running short of time, this was a passage that you could have left off or maybe done only a few questions from it. Now, when I say must attempt passages also, it is very much possible that a few questions in those passages could have been difficult, which you can choose to skip. It's not like must attempt passages, you have to attempt all the questions, even though if you're unsure about it, that's not the point. So just like you can leave out some questions from the must attempt passages, same way you can attempt a few questions from the can or skipping kind of passages as well, right? So on the whole, if you see, five passages out of the six were definitely doable. The sixth one, depending on your time and comfort, you may or may not have done it, right? Moving on to the next section, that is current affairs. Current affairs, if you clearly see, we are all aware of these buckets, the most common buckets that we all talk about. Eight buckets we have in current affairs that we broadly divide it. So, polity and government, you had one set. International, you had one set. Culture, I think you had two sets of questions. Then there was one set on business, one on defense, and one on science and tech. So overall, if you have to see clearly, culture was something that you had more. I think two sets were there on culture-based questions, but otherwise, the overall split of the buckets or categories was more or less across different topics, right? Let us take a look at the level of difficulty here. Difficulty wise, again, a lot of questions were definitely easy. I would categorize it as easy, definitely. So, yes, you could have scored quite a lot. I mean, 60%, more than half of the questions for you were easy. Another 16 questions were medium and difficult. Yes, clearly your 9 to 10 questions were also difficult. So, but given the fact that you had at least 23 easy questions and a few of the medium also you could have attempted. So a score, I mean, somewhere near easy to medium is what, or at least moderate level section this would have been, right? So not very difficult as such, but yes, definitely towards the moderate side. Easy to moderate is something that you can clearly say, and something around 22 plus would have been a easily doable score. We'll definitely look at a good score, but 23, 24 should have been something easily doable for this kind of difficulty level of this section, right? Let's take a quick look at the passages that we had. Now, Passage one, if you see the culture and award one, here I've not really, if you see, I've not really split them up as must do and can do, because in general, in current affairs, the idea of, even in can do passages, or even though you don't know anything about the topic, maybe some questions you'd still be able to attempt. So I'm not really categorizing an entire passage as must do or can be skipped, but more so in the context of the topics. You can read and check and see if there are some questions you can definitely go ahead and do, even for difficult ones. If you see the first one on awards and culture and awards, that is this Michael and Sheila Held Prize, this was definitely a difficult one, a tricky set. So you could have given it a try, maybe a few questions here and there, if they were with respect to other awards that were asked, other Indian winners that were asked, and if you knew that, you could have attempted it. Definitely a few static GK related questions, if they were there, you could have attempted it, but otherwise, this was a tricky set as such. The next one on national awards, definitely something that all of you are aware of, and events that all of you are aware of, definitely doable questions, right? The other one on defense, third one on defense about IAF exercise Desert Flag 6. This is again something that might have been a little tricky. You should have been able to attempt a few of them, while a few of the questions could have been difficult on the whole, right? The next passage on international affairs about Myanmar. This is again something that is a burning issue that is going on right now. So I'm sure all of you have already heard about this, have read about this. So you should have been able to attempt this passage fairly well. Maybe one or two questions here and there is okay, maybe difficult, but otherwise you should have been able to attempt this passage entirely for sure. Coming to business and economy, the set on business, it was about India's oil suppliers, who is the second most, who is the top supplier, and all of that. It was about that. Again, something that based on basic general awareness, also it is something most of the questions could have been attempted, right? Again, the next one, Russian vaccine Sputnik to India. This is something a very, very latest, a very current topic that has been going on. So I'm sure all of you should have been able to attempt this set also fairly well, right? And the last one, again, a very important one, very obvious one, very current one again, right? So Election Commissioner of India, new Election Commissioner of India being appointed. So clearly, if you see, there are 4 or 5 events that are very, very current, very much in news recently. So you should have been able to do this. There are 2 or 3 like this one, probably, like I said, a difficult set. This IAF exercise entirely wouldn't have been a difficult set. Maybe a few questions in that would have been difficult. Same is the case with this set on business. Maybe not all, but a few questions would have been a little tricky, right? So overall, if you see, definitely easy passages, easy events, easy questions were there, which accounts for the number of overall number of 23 easy questions that you had, right? So this is how probably you could have done this. And again, current affairs, remember, you're never really going to leave out an entire passage. Please remember that that never works. Even if you haven't heard of the event, even if you're not aware of the event being talked about, ensure you give a quick check to the questions and see maybe some related strategy case asked, or maybe some other related current affairs is asked, which you are aware of, right? So ensure you read that and mark your answer accordingly, right? Moving on to the third section, which was on legal. Here, if you see, we have categorized it in terms of the passages. So these are not really the number of questions. Instead, these are the number of passages, right? So I'm sure all ALP students are already aware of these categories. This is how we usually do our passage-based sessions also, based on public policy, based on High Court, Supreme Court judgments, regulatory passages, and passages based on legal concepts. Legal concept passages are the ones based on your proper legal uh, uh, concepts, like your torts or criminal law or contracts. Those kinds of concepts are tested in these passages. Public policy, High Court, Supreme Court judgment, regulatory passages, again, are very, very common areas that are usually tested. So here also, if you see, the maximum type of questions were regulatory. We had 3 passages on that. Then you had 2 each on legal concepts and public policy, and 1 on High Court, Supreme Court judgment. So that was the broad categorization of the type of passages that you got. Let's take a look at the difficulty level. Now, difficulty level, again, if you see this analysis, if you see, close to 21, like nearly or a little more than half of the paper, half of the questions were of medium level, right? 14 questions easy, half of them were of medium level, and you had around 4 questions which were difficult. So overall, if I have to rate this section, I would call it more of a medium to difficult, right? Medium to difficult, more like a moderate level of section, not very easy, but at the same time, not very difficult either, right? So moderate to difficult would have been the level of this section. Let's take a look at the passages and understand what you should have done, what you could have done, and all of that. Right. Now, if you see here, this one, there was this first passage on your Ayodhya verdict. Uh, Again, out of the 8 passages, if you see, I have listed down 5 passages here as must-do passages. Remember that more or less all 5 of these were easy, doable ones. The remaining 3 also were doable. Can attempt passage is what we are saying. Uh, Probably, unless you were really running short of time, there was really no passage that you should have left entirely because it was too difficult. There wasn't any passage of that sort. But yes, depending on your time that you had, maybe you could have attempted out of the next three passages that I'll discuss, maybe you could have left out some out of those. But otherwise, depending on the type of the passage and the level of the passage, all 8 were fairly doable ones, right? The first passage, if you remember about Ayodhya verdict, fairly short passage it was with familiar kinds of questions, so definitely doable. The second one, if you see the one based on rule of law, although the passage could have seemed a little abstract, right, but questions were still easily doable. They were easily found in the passage, right? So this is again something that you should have definitely done. Uh, the fourth passage on the legal concept of breach of contract, if you remember, it was a very, very short passage, right? Very short passage, so something you definitely should have attempted. Easy questions worth attempting. These are passages that you cannot, afford to skip, right? Very short and fairly easily questions, easily doable questions. So definite must attempt passage. This is definitely. The sixth passage, if you remember, again, it was a regulatory passage on Google paying money to its publishers and all of that about it. Again, it was fairly straightforward questions we had, right? It definitely required a reading and understanding of the passage. I'm not denying that, but still, despite that, it was fairly reasonable kind of questions which you could have definitely attempted without a doubt. The next under must do category would have been the passage on legal concepts of culpable homicide and murder. I'm sure very familiar situations, these very familiar concept, very familiar situations were asked in the question. So definitely doable, right? So all 5 of these, if you see, more or less straightforward ones, a little bit of yes, reading definitely is required, that you can't escape in any legal passage, but fairly simple questions, that fairly doable questions that you all should have definitely attempted, right? So next, moving on to the set of passages that you could have done, right? Again, like I said, no passage was so difficult that you had to leave it out entirely unless you were actually running out of time. But these are passages that you could have attempted based on how much time you had left, right? This passage 3, if you remember about the check bouncing related issue, it was fairly long to read. But then if you remember, it had a set of rules. So the best approach would have been to do it with a skim scan approach, right? You quickly check which rule you want to, which rule is the question asking you about, and then go back in the passage, pick out that particular rule, apply it, and get going with it, right? So even though it was a long passage in that context, you could have done questions using a skim scan approach. That would have definitely helped, right? Passage 5, if you see the one based on RTI Act, it was a short passage. Relatively, it was a short passage, but questions were a little lengthy and they needed a careful and thorough understanding of the passage, right? So there was a scope of mistake, scope of error in few of the questions. So that way you had to be a little careful. Passage 7, again, another one on regulatory passage on Epidemic Diseases Act. This is again was a very short passage as such, but some of the questions and the way the options were framed, I would say some of the questions had a lot of scope for mistakes happening, right? So that way you should have been a little careful, but otherwise, yes, all these 3 category of pass, at least few questions from these passages you should have been able to do without a doubt, right? Now, let us move on to the next section. that is your logical. Now again, logical reasoning, as expected, it was very much heavy on critical reasoning. With the new pattern of CLAT since last year, we have understood this, that CLAT is going to be critical reasoning heavy. It is going to be very much focused on critical reasoning. As you can clearly see, out of the 28 questions you had, there were 24 of them were passage based, and there were around 2 series and 2 syllogism based questions. Now, when you remember, we discussed about the order of the sections, right? Now, within the logical reasoning section also, at whichever point you decide to do it ultimately, try to do the AR kind of questions first. Again, depending on what kind of question it is, definitely. But try to do the AR kind of questions first. Try to do the individual questions first, whether AR or CR. Sometimes you get individual assumption or conclusion based questions also. So try to do individual questions first, try to get them out of your way before you move on to passage based questions, right? So if I have to check with respect to the level of difficulty, again, this section clearly only around 8 questions I could term them as easy, whereas there were 17 questions which were medium and only 3 difficult questions. So overall, I would still call this a moderate section, right? Not very easy, not very difficult, right? With a majority of the questions being of moderate level. So the overall section would definitely be medium to difficult kind, right? Let us take a look at the passages as such, or the questions that you should have definitely attempted. Like I said, based on the the series based questions or the syllogism, the individual questions were something that you should have definitely done, and probably in the beginning of the section itself you can finish them off, right? Deductive logic, syllogism to definite, and the questions based on series also. Again, series, remember, it can always get tricky. Although the ones in this paper were not really that difficult, you could have fairly easily identified the pattern, so you should have done it. But be very careful with questions like series and coding, because there's a chance that you might, get stuck into a pattern. I mean, unless you are maybe unable to figure out the pattern and you get stuck to the question for a long time. Don't do that. If the pattern doesn't strike in the first couple of seconds, leave it and get going. In case you have time, you can always come back, but don't spend too much time on series. These are like traps, right? So you have to be very careful. But given the type of questions you had in this paper, I would say yes, you could have definitely attempted. But series coding, you always have to be a little careful overall. Coming to the passages, if you see, the second passage about UN's Global Education Initiative, something which was very decent enough read, an easily understandable one, and questions were also fairly simple and easily doable. The fourth passage was about India-Brazil ties. If you remember, very short passage and very easy and straightforward questions. Without a doubt, you should have been able to do this, right? There was a fifth passage based on body image about how you view ourselves and all of that. That was also an interesting, easy read. The reading and understanding the passage was not really difficult. So yes, that is also something that you could have done. Now, out of all these passages, passages 2, 4, and 5 that have listed, overall, most all of them were fairly simple to read and fairly easy questions. There were few difficult questions out of these also. So those particular questions you may have chosen to leave, but otherwise, all of the questions were more or less easy to attempt, right? The first passage, the one about acrasia and habits, bad, good, and bad habits, and all of that, I've still put it under must attempt only. Again, although this passage would need a little bit of reading and careful understanding, but the questions were still more or less doable. It was not too difficult. So, this is also something that you could have attempted. Passage 3, which was about consumerism and something about purchasing habits of luxury goods of people in Europe way back in the 18th century. That particular passage, if you remember, that passage was a little lengthy. Yes, I mean, compared to the other passages and compared to what usually happens in logical reasoning, that was definitely a little lengthy, and it needed a lot of thorough reading and understanding. Even the questions, if you see, were big questions. Options were huge statements, so you had to do a lot of reading and understanding in order to attempt the passage, right? So keeping those things in mind, this could have been a passage that you could have skipped, or maybe done only one or two questions here and there if they were really that simple, right? Because even, for example, the questions were such that even to do a single question, you had to have a good understanding and hold of the entire passage, for which reason I have put it under a can attempt sort of a thing. So once you have attempted everything else and you still have enough time left to attempt one more, that is when you could have done this. Otherwise, maybe you could have planned to skip this, right? Now, coming to the last section, that is quantitative techniques. Uh, with respect to category, if you see now percentages, this is something we all know, given that it is data interpretation based, DI based, graphs, charts, and all of that. Percentage based questions are going to be like a must have thing, right? So your concepts of percentages should be really, really strong. And that is what has happened. Close to 50% of the questions were percentage based. And if I remember right, there was one set which was entirely on percentages, right? So you have to be really good at that. Then next was around with respect to averages and ratio based questions. You had a few of them, and there were around 4 questions which simply asked you what is the sum of this, what is the difference of this. Overall, if you see, I would definitely say that this was a very easy section. In the sense, first of all, yes, given the discomfort, sorry, that I said students have with respect to the quant section already, keeping that in mind, this was definitely a very, very easy section. Even otherwise, it was a very, fairly easy questions. If you see, out of the 15, 11 of them were easy. There was no question that was difficult or you couldn't do kind of a thing, right? It just happens to be like how much time you gave. Like if you had left it for the last and you really didn't get time to do the quant section, it would have been really bad in that context because that is the reason why in the beginning I was saying that ensure that you leave out at least 10 to 12 minutes, because if you happen to get quant sections like this, which is very, very scoreable, it can add a huge amount or a good considerable amount of marks to your overall score, right? So this is something you should be very, very careful of. Now, if you take a look at the type of passages that you got. The set three, I've also listed down the order in which you could have done within the passage, I mean, within the section itself, I've put down the order in which you could have done. That is again up to you. If you can quickly browse through the three sets and decide which one is easy, which one could be done first. Probably the third set, which was on bar graphs and all questions were based on percentages. This is something that you should have definitely done. Now, the only reason I have put all the three sets under must attempt is because at least two or three questions. I mean, like I said for earlier sections also, there was no one set that you could have entirely left out because it was difficult or something like that, right? Definitely doable ones. The second set was about web chart, right? I mean, the way the chart was or the way the graph was presented, that could have been slightly different or slightly new. But once you quickly got a hang of how the data is represented, this was also a very simple one to do. In fact, some of the questions in this set were purely subtraction and addition, if I remember, right? So this is again something that you should have definitely done. The first set was also straightforward, which was on line graph. And I remember there were few questions that you could have attempted just by observing the graph. Not, it didn't even need any sort of calculation, right? So even if you are unable to do all the three sets completely, you should have at least done two complete sets, and one set you could have done at least few questions out of it. So leaving out an entire set in this kind of a section is totally out of question, right? So definitely all the three sets you should have been able to touch and attempt a lot of those questions. Maybe a few questions here and there you left out on the whole, which is okay, but not leaving out a set. That is not really advisable in this kind of easy questions, right? So I guess that was it with respect to the sectional analysis. Now let us go ahead and understand overall what scores would have been good enough or good scores with this respect. Now we have listed down the topper scores here. The topper got around 100.25 score, and we've also listed down the sectional topper scores here. Now overall, if you see, we've also put up a band analysis which will be made available to you also in your online portal. Band analysis, basically there is the mapping also we have given. Band 1 we usually suggest this is the kind of score in this kind of a paper. This is the kind of score that you need to get if you're aiming for the top 3 colleges. Band 2 is with respect to all other NLUs, and band 3 is with respect to other, maybe a few of the last few NLUs and other law schools, right? So this is with respect to the band analysis, with this kind of a paper, because the level of the paper that we have just seen, 115 above would have been a good score to target the top 3 NLUs, right? So again, the your individual scorecards and a predicted All India rank card will be made available to you in your online portal sometime soon. And we are also planning to do a detailed sectional analysis as in explanation of each individual section of this UCLAT mock, and we'll also put up those recordings as soon as possible. Probably in the next week or so, we'll plan those recordings and we'll put it up, right? So again, I suggest all those who have not yet taken the mock, please go ahead, attempt the mock first, and then come back and check out this analysis video and the other explanation videos that we'll be putting up soon, right? So I guess that's it from my side for today. If you have any queries, ALPNs, you always know you can reach out to us on either on the discussion board, or you can reach out to us to our teams. Others, non-ALPNs who are watching this video, you can also reach out to our team uh, anytime with any queries that you might have, right? So that's all, guys. Thank you. Have a nice day ahead.